moderator.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fact Check, Please. My name is Dylan Straightlace, and I will serve as your moderator for this evening. We will be presented a series of timeless disputes, which our two highly intelligent competitors will debate in a series of 5 rounds, while our bright fact checkers, Jerry, Larry, and Dave, make sure that all arguments are supported by facts and bring insightful answers to the table. Funny business will not be tolerated. Based on their answers throughout the show, you, the audience, will vote on who will be named the ultimate fact fiend of the universe. And in this corner, here comes our first debater, Penelope Waddlebottom!
I'm gonna chase you off of the edge of the ice wall, Chad.
Now let's see that video. Oh.
Hi, my name is Penelope Waddlebottom, and my life has been pretty hard, which has forced me to learn a lot and fast. Which is why I'm gonna be the next fact fiend of the universe. Unlike that idiot Chad Thunderclap. The Earth is flat, and you cannot convince me otherwise. There are dragons on the other side of the ice wall at the edge of the Earth. Also, water dehydrates you, so that's why I only drink natural, healthy drinks like 7-Up. Chad is a weak, stifling, misogynist incel. I wouldn't be surprised if he's never stepped foot within 1 square mile of a woman before. See, myself? Sorry. I sat in the Harvard Library for 4 years and I didn't even go there. I'm going to win because Chad's limited views leave him boxed in. I'm an open mind.
Quite the statements, Penelope. Could you walk us through what exactly is the ice wall?
Dylan, you don't actually believe in Antarctica, right? I mean, I have graphs. We could talk about this. I've got all the...
It is time for us to move on. Please welcome our next debater to the stage. In the opposing corner, ready to give it all he's got, Chad Thunderclap!
Whew. Yeah, that Penelope Woodawada doesn't stand a chance.
Let's get to know Chad a little more.
Hey, what's up? I'm Chad, and I want to be the fact fiend of the universe so I can make my husband and my 2 Vietnamese adopted children very proud. I've learned a lot in my life, and Penelope better be prepared because I come hard and fast with my opinions. Yo, one time I almost lost a debate, but then I didn't. Penelope is dumb. Like stupid, not smart, and an asshole. That's the hole they keep the donkeys in. I'm definitely gonna win. Maybe. There's 2 of us, so it can only be one of us, but it'll definitely maybe be me.
Thank you, Chad. Wonderful. It is nice to meet the 2 of you. I hope you're ready for the challenges ahead, but now it's time to meet our fact checkers. Introduce yourselves, please.
I don't know. I'm Jerry, I guess.
Perfectly elaborate. Next.
Dylan, my main man. What have you been doing? I know all this stuff. I'm Larry.
Absolutely. And
Achoo! No, I'm just kidding. That was a fake sneeze. I was just being funny. Do you think it was funny? My name's Carrie.
I think we were expecting a Dave.
Don't worry about it.
No Dave. That's a little concerning. We'll have to talk to our producers about that. But it's time to get right into our first question right after these messages. So we'll be right back with more Fact Check after this.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner.
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. I thought you were on my team.
It is finally time for our first question. Are you two prepared to put your pride on the line and potentially look like a fool or break your opponent with your beliefs?
God, I'm ready.
You bet your bottom dollar I am.
Our first question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Okay, it's got to be the egg, because what do you get chickens from? More eggs. You have to have an egg to have a chicken. Like, come on, let's think about this logically.
Perfect. Penelope?
Well, Dylan, as far as I know, I've never seen a chicken just appear out of thin air. So I'm gonna go with the chicken. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, let's get right into the debate.
Okay, so really, my story begins a long time ago when I was just a poor young boy at the age of 14. And I cracked open an egg to cook myself a delicious high-protein breakfast. And you know what fell out? A freaking baby chicken. So clearly I had the egg in my hand, crack it open, I find a chicken. So be that what it may, egg comes first.
Well, to go with the breakfast example that my opponent just brought forward, I have you know that I eat a rotisserie chicken every morning for breakfast. And when I cut into a full rotisserie chicken, I find what? An egg. And I had the chicken before I had that egg.
I think
So
we have
chicken.
our first fact check of the evening. Carrie?
I just want to say I feel like eating a full rotisserie chicken every morning might be bad for your health. That's all.
Which is why I, Chad Thunderclap, believe that you should be eating a high-protein egg breakfast, because the egg comes first.
This does feel just a little off topic. I just want to remind you the question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, the egg came first.
Penelope?
Because you had it for breakfast.
Right.
I'll have you know that chickens are direct descendants from dinosaurs, and in between the dinosaur to chicken pipeline, there was what? Dragons. Dragons have wings. Dragons live on the edge of the ice wall, which means that dinosaurs came before humans, which means that dinosaurs came
talking
before
about
chickens.
dragons.
Jerry, I think you have a...
Yeah, I pulled out my globe here. Penelope, can you just point out where I should be looking for the ice wall? I'm not seeing it anywhere on here, so.
You want to see a globe?
Well, I mean, right here.
It's an ice wall.
Oh.
On the globe. It's flat. Ice wall. Yeah.
And what does this have to do with eggs?
Dragons. Chickens evolved from dragons, and dragons came before
But then
chickens.
the dragon
Chickens
laid
from-
the egg.
But one day there was first a chicken, right, which had to lay the egg. My rotisserie chicken example is the perfect example here. There's an egg inside of it.
All this dragon talk is just a little dubious. Larry, yeah, I think you have a...
Dylan, I went to Costco recently. I got a chicken, rotisserie chicken. There was no egg in my rotisserie chicken.
He makes a point. He makes a point.
Listen, I would have you know that I eat a rotisserie chicken every morning, and there's always an egg in it. So, and with mayonnaise too, and mayonnaise is full of eggs.
My fellow viewers, this is troubling news. This person here has eggs in her chicken. But all this is to say, the egg must come first. For at one point, that dragon that she is speaking of, I believe his name was Puff, the magic kind, he laid that egg and then begat a chicken. Thus, the egg comes first.
Have you ever seen chicken feet? They're awfully scaly, right? Which proves my dragon example, and dragons obviously came before humans, right?
Does that prove the dragon example? Fact checkers?
Fact
Carrie?
check.
When I crack chickens and when I crack eggs, they make the same noise.
When you crack chickens?
Yes, I do. I do. So, does that help?
You're arguing with basic evolutionary science here. I mean, I don't even know how to argue with someone that doesn't even know that thanks to dragons, we have chickens, right?
But thanks to the dragons, we have the eggs to have the chickens.
Chad does
I've
bring
seen
up a
Game
good
of
point.
Thrones.
I think you're going to have to speak to that a little more, Penelope. But Jerry has an interjection.
Chad, you're saying that you think the egg came first. If the egg came first, what came before the egg? Was it the egg itself, or was it rising egg prices?
Egg prices, am I right? It's not going to get any better.
It's true. I also have chickens in my backyard, and I had to buy those before they started giving me eggs. And I also kill those chickens for my rotisserie chicken as well.
Right. Chad, any final thoughts?
My final thought is, I'm right, she's dumb. This is awesome, I'm on TV, what's up?
My final thought is that rotisserie chicken is really good and full of protein.
This marks the end of our debate time. Now it's up to the audience vote. Who had the stronger argument? Was it the egg advocate, Chad, or chicken champion, Penelope? And the winner of round one is Chad Thunderclap. Congratulations, Chad.
Yeah, baby.
That was an exciting round. Before we get into the next question, let's take a minute to learn about one of our fact checkers. Jerry, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Salutations, Dylan. Where do I even begin? I was born on the eve of Sir Isaac Newton's birthday. The air was thin, the room empty. You see, Dylan, I was not born, I was grown.
Okay, wow. Jerry, I feel like that's the start of a very long story, so maybe we'll return to that. Anyway, how are my two debaters feeling after that opening round, Chad?
I'm feeling like I could rule the whole freaking world right now, dude.
Yeah. And Penelope?
I feel like I could rule the entire flat world right now.
Well, that's smaller. That's smaller.
Well, I guess it's time to get into the second debate topic of the evening. 400 million years ago, the first composite cellulosic fibers began to grow on our Mother Earth. Now, the hardy, strong, and flexible material is known as wood. In the last few hundred years, wood has served a crucial role in the development of our emerging society. The Marmota monax, known more commonly as a whistle pig, groundhog, or woodchuck, is a large ground squirrel belonging to the marmot family. Typically found in the northeastern United States and Canada, they are notoriously intelligent, able to effectively communicate among themselves by whistling. Now, where do these two momentous elements of nature and society converge? This brings us to our next question, presented to our contestants. Chad, Penelope, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Penelope, your opening statement.
Well, given the current political climate, I would say that a woodchuck could chuck approximately 4 trees. I mean, their mouths really are not that big. And to quote my 5th grade science textbook, small things do not get the job done. So yeah, I would say about 4 trees.
Well put, Penelope. Chad, your opening lines?
Well, in my personal experience as a woodchucker, I was a lumberjack in college. I could chuck like probably 14, but like a woodchuck could probably do like then 13 then if I could do 14. Like I could just do one more than a woodchuck.
You were a lumberjack in college?
Yeah, I never told you about that?
Are lumberjack and woodchuck euphemisms for anything?
My husband told me I can't answer that anymore. So I'll get back to you on that one.
2 compelling arguments. Let's not waste any of this precious time. Let the debate commence.
I think it's important to note the size of a woodchuck, right? Woodchucks really, we just saw on that desk there, that silly little woodchuck. Silly little woodchuck. Nothing like a lumberjack, nothing like the size of Chad, I guess, to give him a compliment there. And they really, if one woodchuck versus one large tree, I'm gonna give them about a day, right? We were never given a time frame, so if we were to give a woodchuck a day, yeah, 4 trees, really not a lot.
Okay, that's a fantastic point, and if we're going to use the basis of just a day, I'm going to bring our minds to something else. So as I previously mentioned, I can chuck a lot of wood, and a woodchuck is probably just a little bit behind me. But it's a woodchuck, also known as a groundhog, as my lovely boy here said. And so if it's a groundhog, you got to factor in Bill Murray and Groundhog's Day, and so it's going to repeat the day over and over, and it can get, look at that, it could do that for like 40 days in a row, rotating because Bill Murray.
I think we have a check from Jerry.
I just want to point your attention is that you're saying that a woodchuck could chuck a lot of wood. I'd like
Less
to.
than me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to direct your attention to the horror movie Chuck E. In Chuck E, he killed a lot of people. I feel like the woodchuck would be very preoccupied. How do you respond to the woodchuck being preoccupied as Chucky killing people? How would he have time to eat all that wood?
Well, you ask how he has time. I just said he has it all the time. He's a groundhog. The day repeats itself until he finds true love's first kiss. I never watched the movie.
Penelope, you had something to say about your 5th grade science textbook. Can we go over that again?
Yeah, small things don't get the job done. Yeah, they really,
Let's hear from Larry.
Dylan, I got my GED and I went to Arizona State Online, 17 degrees. Nowhere in either of those textbooks say that small things can't get the job done.
And Carrie, while we're on the topic.
You said that small things can't get the job done, but I think that some small things, when you're really nice to her, and when you give her mom flowers, and you watch the sports games with her dad, and you play with your younger brother, then it doesn't really matter the size of the woodchuck. So I just keep that in mind for the rest of the debate.
Right.
Good job.
I ask you, Dylan, to define chuck. Are we talking about chucking or chucking?
Jerry,
Define.
I think you have a definition ready.
Yes, I could define the word chuck. It's when you do this. Did that help?
I think a woodchuck could chuck. Woodchuck could chuck that woodchuck right there, right, Chuck?
Maybe one wood.
One wood.
One wood?
But he could do 2 wood, maybe.
I mean, if we're taking into
I could
account
do
the
3.
size of a tree, an average tree in a forest, I mean, that's pretty tall. And a woodchuck, let's see that little guy up there. Look
Average.
how tiny he is. By himself, you want to give him one tree to do by himself? I think he'd get tired.
What about a smaller tree?
A smaller tree. I mean, give me the coordinates. I can make an algorithm for you.
An aspen, perhaps.
This guy knows trees.
Give me a second to figure out an algorithm. I mean,
Okay, while she figures out girl math, what I want to talk about is that how could this groundhog not chop up the tree into multiple little pieces to then chuck this wood? And however much it is, just remember, I could chuck a little more, but, you know. Are you done
Penelope,
there?
any updates on the?
Yeah.
four trees. The woodchuck can chuck 4 trees.
Sure. Any final thoughts from either of you?
My final thoughts are, when you go home and you rest your head on your pillow and you start to dream and you start to think of what this world could be, do you want it to be a world where we have weak, little tiny woodchucks chucking our wood? Or do you want big, strong, husky, beefy woodchucks chucking
Very
your wood all
impressive.
about?
You're both clearly passionate about the art of woodchucking, but it's time for the audience to choose their winner. Is it Penelope with her climate-conscious claim, or Chad with his collegiate chucking? And I'm getting word that the winner of round 2 is Penelope. Nicely done, Penelope. We have lots more to debate, but first let's take another moment to get to know our second fact checker, Carrie.
Oh. Sorry, Dylan. Yeah, I'm Carrie. I like Kodak cameras. I like Kodak waffles. I really like that line in the Pitbull song that goes, "Me not working hard." Yeah, right. Picture that with a Kodak. Better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak.
I think Larry has a fact.
Dude, they're Kodiak waffles, not Kodak. That's gross. Don't do that.
Can I believe in something for once?
Why would I let you believe in anything? You just spawned here. Where'd you come from?
Well, I think it's time to move on.
You good?
Are you gonna ask us the next question?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about something exciting that's coming. Anyway, but first though, question 4. Chad, Penelope, is a hot dog a sandwich? Chad, you have the floor.
I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad you're glad.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm glad.
Dylan, a hot dog is not a sandwich. It never has been, and it never will be. Lots of dumb people think a hot dog is a sandwich due to the fact that the dictionary definition of a sandwich is a type of meal comprised of some sort of substance squeezed tightly between two pieces of bread. And as the hot dog is not between two pieces of bread, rather inside of a slice of a piece of bread, it is not a sandwich.
Penelope?
It's as simple as saying the applesauce is a soup.
Applesauce is the soup of the fruit. Even with your pea-sized brain, I would have expected you to figure that out.
How is it soup? If anything, it is the mashed potatoes of fruits.
I feel like maybe we're heading off topic. Penelope, I understand your stance on applesauce, but we're interested in the dogs.
I'm sorry.
The hot dogs.
I get a little flustered. A hot dog is obviously a sandwich. It doesn't matter if it's a meat stick or if it's cut into little slices or if it's in between bread, because the essence of a sandwich is still there. So that's like saying that subs aren't sandwiches now.
Okay, we got to keep on time, and that applesauce bit, well educational, really got us off track. So let the debate commence.
Okay, it is very clear that you cannot just spread the buns and shove the hot dog in and call it a sandwich. A sandwich has a bottom slice and a top slice. You need a top and a bottom, or else you have nothing going on.
I saw Carrie's flag first.
Can you say spread the buns again?
Spread the buns.
Jerry?
Chad was making the argument that a hot dog could not be a sandwich because you couldn't slip the wiener in. Now, the thing about that is that if you had a friend and you cut the hot dog bun into two pieces, they could hold the bread and then the other person could slip the wiener in. How do you respond to that, Chad?
Well, there is never anything wrong with having a friend there to help you spread it open while you shove the wiener in. But that never makes it a sandwich. You need to have the two separate pieces. You can slip your wiener wherever you want it in whoever's buns held
Fantastic,
open
Chad.
by whomever.
Thank you.
It's not a hot sandwich.
Penelope, let's hear from you a little bit. Do you think the art of hot dog making should be a collaborative effort?
Yeah, I'll have you know that I worked at Subway and I made lots of subs, and oftentimes the bread would come as one piece, and you would just put the stuff on it and then go like that, and then I would consider that a sandwich, right? So I would argue that anything that's in between my two buns would be considered a sandwich.
I'm sure it would, Penelope. I'm sure it would.
Yeah, so there's no arguing that a sub from Subway, that's like the sandwich. It's like the sandwich capital of the world. That's a sandwich, right?
So,
Come on,
Chad,
fact
are you
checkers.
derailing and agreeing with Penelope?
I motion to say that Jimmy John's is the sub-capital of the country because Jimmy John's, it's freaky fast. So I want to see your refute to that.
I do agree that Jimmy John's is freaky fast, but it's a stupid argument, Dylan.
Me? What?
Yeah, he's talking to you. You think Dylan's stupid? That's my boy. How much are you paying him for this?
I'm not. They don't.
Oh,
Jerry
you better not be. Anyway, back on topic.
Jerry has a fact.
Yeah, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me. Well, it seems as though you have a problem with the schematics of a hot dog itself, but I'm confused. Do you have a problem with the buns or the wiener?
I have no problem with neither buns nor wieners. However, I have a problem with things being mislabeled. If your bread is not sliced, it is not a sandwich. Earl of Sandwich, the great philosopher who I've studied in depth, once said, to be or not to be, that is the question. And what he really meant was, you better not be putting a wiener in an unsliced bun.
I think
that's
Larry.
not a sandwich.
I think Larry has a comment briefly before we move on.
GED, Isaac Newton, not whoever that is. Isaac Newton.
Perfect. Thank you, Larry. And final comments from Penelope.
I would say that if you have a problem with the buns itself, a hot dog bun is chemically the same as the bun of a sub or a sandwich. So if you have a problem with the buns and not the actual wiener of a hot dog, then yeah, obviously a hot dog is a sandwich.
This is breaking my brain that such a simple concept could not be understood. If you have a hinge, you are not a sandwich. You need to get off hinge to be a sandwich. And find that top and find that bottom. Don't be flipping it around, because then you get lost and you don't know what's going on.
Well, that was a riveting round. You're going to want to stay seated, though, because we've still got to our old audience vote. Let's see what the audience has mustered up for us. And I'm just now getting word that the winner of round 3 is Chad Thunderclaps. Nicely done. But it's still anyone's game. Let's have a one-on-one with our final fact checker. Let's hear what life is like for Larry.
Oh, Dylan, you want me to talk about me? I'm an Aquarius from Omaha, Nebraska. Studied chemistry in college. Do you know anything about chemistry, Dylan?
What?
Okay, well, since you don't. All right, Dylan. All right, chemistry. We are here. Soon enough, Dylan, we'll get to here.
All right, Larry, I think that's enough. We'll be right back after these messages.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Time really does fly. We're already more than halfway through our show. Our fourth question is something that pairs two unlikely variables to create either a powerful force or extreme catastrophe. Dinosaurs. Should they be in law enforcement?
Excuse me?
You're excused.
No, Dylan, this is supposed to be a serious debate.
This is a serious question.
Dylan, this is kind of stupid. Can we be serious for once?
See?
I have an opinion.
Oh, you do?
So it's all actually quite simple here on this chart you see. So I call this the gun down hypothesaurus. And, you know, dinosaurs should be in law enforcement because, one, a T-Rex is cool. Two, guns can be cool when they're in the right hands, and a T-Rex might be the right hands. And three, guns in T-Rex's hands, I wouldn't want to commit a crime because would you want to fight a T-Rex with a Glock? I wouldn't. So this pretty much outlines it all here. You got your X-axis and your Y-axis, and then it just like, and then...
That's just ridiculous. I mean,
Penelope, your response?
well, I mean, of course not. I mean, come on, it's dinosaurs. Look, they're huge. I mean, think about it. The destruction that they could wreak would be unhitherto dreamt of. I mean, they destroy our society. They ruled the world once, and they can rule it again, and they'll just chase us off the edge of the ice wall. And Chad, how could you even begin to think the dinosaurs would be able to rule this planet? I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Look, think about it. Crime rate go down. Awesome rate up. You want to go rob a bank, but then you think, man, a 6-foot-tall velociraptor with one of the sharp little claws cuts me right open on the stomach. I don't get to keep the money. I'm not committing a crime after that. And would you? No, you wouldn't. So give the velociraptors guns right now, and Tyrannosaurus rex, and Triceratops.
Chad, you briefly said something to the effect of guns are cool in the right hands. In whose hands do you think guns are cool?
Well, first of all, Stegosaurus would not be cool. Don't trust him. But like, really anyone who like just has a strong moral sense of justice, and I really feel like from watching Jurassic Park and the way that John Williams scored that movie, it was so beautiful. Like, a T-Rex just has to be reasonable with a gun, and so I would give most dinosaurs guns, frankly.
Larry?
Now, apart from that stupid statement, T-Rex aren't real. They were never real, they never will be. Continue.
T-Rexes are obvious, they obviously were real. I mean, how do you think we have dragons? But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I don't think that Chad has even really seen Jurassic Park. I mean, they just caused destruction. They couldn't even be trusted let loose in a zoo. How could they be trusted let loose on our planet? Are you kidding me?
Carrie has something to say.
Well, they'd be trusted because now they'd have guns.
And Jerry?
I mean, you know, Chad brought up this really deep cut, this indie film called Jurassic Park. I'm looking up the synopsis for it now on Wikipedia, and it seems really bad. Can you please explain how this would work in real life?
Jurassic Park is not just a film. It's a deep dive into man's psyche and what science can do. And I truly believe that movie represents Dante's Inferno, and each one of those characters that dies little by little is just a look into how humans should be viewing ourselves and how nature eventually comes around to get us all.
Does this come back around to the question?
Yes. That is all to say, these dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, believe you me, they could sense the moral character of a being before an act had even occurred. Thus, it stands to reason that clear as day, plain as can be, we must give these dinosaurs the full power of the law to stop all criminals.
I mean, just look at a T-Rex's arms. They can't even hold a gun. I can't even hold a gun. I got short arms. But T-Rex, I just would not trust dinosaurs, let alone like with children. They're this small. You have children yourself. Would you trust dinosaurs enforcing your children?
My children, my two beautiful children, Troy and Savan. I saved them from such a rough time in Vietnam when I went there for my prize exotic hunting trips, as I always do. And they were being cornered by a tiger. And I killed this tiger for them. But as I walked up and I looked at my two young boys right there that I was just about to adopt, I saw fire in their eyes. They had that tiger cornered, and they were fighting back. So yes, I would give my child a gun, and yes, I would let it run the streets and get crime off these streets, just like I would with a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Triceratops, and a Velociraptor.
Any final remarks from Penelope?
I would just like to add that Chad's children aren't even his. I mean,
Whoa!
technically they're not even his children.
Whoa!
They're adopted children. They're not even his own children. So I don't see how he could make a point for children that aren't even his.
Very fascinating debate. Thank you both for your insights. And audience, now's your chance to vote. Who sold you on their opinions on Jurassic measures to fight injustice? And the winner of round 4 is Penelope Waddlebottom. Congratulations once again.
You got lucky.
And before we get into the next question, I'm getting a little hungry. I want a Tootsie Roll. Oh, my goodness. My Tootsie is wrapped in a pop. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
The world may never know.
Penelope, you have the floor.
Well, mathematically, when taking into consideration the recent season change and the current political climate, I have an algorithm for this, actually. It would approximately take around 4,600 licks, but to be exact, about like 4,634 licks. Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Chad?
I mean, that's a bunch of malarkey. You just gotta bite the thing. You know, look what the owl did. That's a nice owl. I don't know why he's not colored in when the rest of the background is, but he just bit it. You know, he's a scholar. He has a hat on. He graduated college, something I am planning on doing eventually. And I trust his judgment. He just bit it. You bite into it and you're good. You don't need to do all this licking stuff.
Two very different stances. I'll need to hear a little more from both of you to convince me, so let's get right into the debate.
Well, Chad, have you ever considered that the lollipop would want to be licked a little bit before you bite right into it? Have you ever considered that?
My husband Greg and I have considered a lot of things. We are candy connoisseurs, so to speak. And we have considered that maybe licking is better, but when you can crunch up all the candy and then chew on something gooey that's kind of pulling on the hard and the gooiness all in your mouth all at once, it's a flavor explosion. And that is why I say, just bite the dang thing.
We have a flag from Jerry.
Excuse me. Chad, you're talking about biting into the Tootsie Pop and skipping right to the center. There's a novel called The Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell, and in that novel, he discusses the hero's journey and story structure where we have rising action, then the climax and falling action. It seems, though, Chad, as if you're skipping right to the climax with the gooey center. Can you please explain why you were doing that?
Au contraire. Many would believe that the gooey center is the climax. However, if you're like me, you know that's just the beginning. Where most people would stop and taper off, I keep pushing and I keep going. Right when you think it's over, I've just started. And so this is my rising action. And believe you me, I get plenty of rising action.
Let's hear from Penelope.
Well, I just wonder why my opponent would deny himself the pleasure of, the hard outer side of a Tootsie Pop, right? I have a mathematical algorithm for this, actually. What I'm doing is I'm subtracting the average, amount of saliva. It breaks down the hard candy to the circumference of the Tootsie Pop. And, I still come every single time. It's foolproof. About 4,600 licks every single time.
Larry.
Yeah, for once, I agree with Miss Icewall over here. Wikipedia, breaking just right into the Tootsie Pop will break your teeth, so licking is probably safer.
That's if you have weak teeth. Me personally, and just like this owl here, whoo, he's my friend. We're buddies. We know that if you're strong and you brush your teeth and you get that good enamel, you floss at least twice a day, your teeth will be plenty strong to bite right through that hard outer shell and get to that gooey center.
Penelope, do you think dental care influences, could that factor into your number?
Well, absolutely. I don't think it makes sense why you would look at the owl considering its beak. Obviously it's easier for that owl to bite the Tootsie Pop. And even if you wanted to bite the Tootsie Pop instead of licking it, I'm not telling you how to eat a Tootsie Pop, but this is a hypothetical question here. He's asking you if you were to lick a Tootsie Pop, how many licks it would take. And you seriously don't have any mathematical evidence. And I have a whole algorithm here, so you don't seem to have much to show
Comment
me.
from Jerry?
Well, Penelope, it seems as though your mathematical equation is based on the size of your tongue, but how do you account for people that have smaller and bigger tongues and how they lick a Tootsie Pop? That would change your number.
I think I have a pretty average tongue size.
Carrie?
I disagree. Your tongue is very big. I see it a lot from where I'm sitting, and I don't like it. If you could keep it more in your mouth when you talk, I'd actually feel a lot less like throwing up. So,
thank you, Carrie. Let's hear some closing remarks from both of you. Chad?
My closing statement is, why would you waste your time licking? Licking gets you nowhere. Ask my husband, Greg. All we want to do when we put our two little bambinos to bed, our two little adopted children, we just want to have a nice piece of candy. We love our candy. And we don't like to waste our time spending all this time licking it. We're busy adults. We have jobs. We've got to bite right in and get to the gooey center and have our fun while we can.
Penelope?
Sometimes you really just gotta lick that thing, and sometimes it just tastes better. You gotta enjoy the ride before you get to the hard stuff. So lick it and 4,600 licks.
Absolutely appalling. Our debate time has come to a biting conclusion. It is now time to get to the Tootsie Roll of our debate. The audience vote. Who has better Tootsie Roll Pop procedures, Chad or Penelope? Congratulations to the winner of this round, Penelope. We will be right back with more Fact Check, Please, after these messages.
My name is Gary Parker. I served as a Cavalry Scout and a military policeman in the United States Army for 20 years. When I was a Cavalry Scout, we had a young lieutenant that came in. Great guy, but he moved on, got promoted to lieutenant colonel, went on to Afghanistan, and I was able to keep in contact. And I'd wake up one morning, go on social media, and there's that post you don't want to see. For whatever reason, he took his own life. Nobody knows why he did it, and if there's something that we could have done to prevent it from happening. Safe gun storage can prevent gun suicide because it's that added step to get to your firearm that might just give somebody a moment of reflection on what they're doing. As a veteran, we need to be ambassadors to people that don't have the knowledge that we have. Anytime you're not storing a weapon safely, you're putting yourself and your community at risk. Service never stops.
Oh boy, do we have a surprise for you two.
A surprise?
What is a surprise?
Welcome to the lightning round, a special round that we did not tell you about when you signed up.
Lightning, that's pretty dangerous, dude.
Dylan, you know I can't be around lightning after the situation with the water bottle. I can't.
Lightning round as in quick rapid fire questions that our audience asks. You two seem really excited, so let's throw it to our first audience member.
So, should toilet paper be hung over or under?
Chad, your response.
When I graduated college...
Keep it short, Chad.
When I graduated college, I made a promise to myself and to Greg that I would never be hungover again. Now, I told a slight lie when I said that. I'm not quite Abe Lincoln. And when I said that, I did not know that I would still be hanging my toilet paper over. Because over is the right way. It cascades perfectly, like a beautiful waterfall, right before you wipe your butt.
Penelope?
I would argue under, just because I feel like it looks better than over. It's a lot cleaner, you know, and I like when things look nice.
Back to Chad.
I would say that the angle that the paper makes when it folds over while you're looking at it from the commode, it's kind of like a Fibonacci sequence. And you kind of become part of it. And it really reels you into your number 2 experience, making it number 1.
I think you have a lot more control over the amount of toilet paper that you're dispensing when it's under, because when you have the lip of the actual toilet paper, you can like use that as a way to rip it off the lip of the paper. Kind of like tape.
That's if you've got tiny little hands. Me, I've got big, strong hands because, you know, I was a lumberjack in college. And I want it to be known that over is the better way because it looks better, it feels better, sounds better, and it's just better.
All right. And you're also saying this as if you believe that the Earth is round, right?
I believe that the Earth is a turtle, yes.
Right. So the Earth is flat in my house, and if it's over, it's just gonna like fall off that way. So if it's under, it's safe from falling off the edge of the Earth.
Now let's move on to our next question. Bring up the next audience member.
Hi, I'd love to know, which dress is it? Blue and black, or white and gold?
Penelope?
Yeah, so I actually have these glasses here, which tell me exactly what color everything is, okay? Okay, and when I looked at that dress, I put these glasses on, and I saw gold and white. The answer is gold and white.
That is absurd. Clearly, the answer is blue and black. I mean, do you have eyes? Can you see? Can you think? Are you normal? Are you a human? Look at it. There is no white and gold on that, and I know because I have perfect cones of vision.
I mean, I was also a part of the making process of that dress, and I designed it to be gold and white, so I don't see why you would argue with someone that helped to design that dress.
The only process Penelope was on is the process of losing, to me, a winner.
Chad, do you have any comments about the allegations that you may be colorblind?
I'm not colorblind in all instances except social interactions because I love all humans.
For sure. Penelope?
Chad wouldn't even look good in that dress. I mean, just imagine him with his like ginger hair and the gold and white. I mean, it just wouldn't look good. So gold and white.
Objection, I would look stunning in that dress, and my husband said so because we bought the dress. But you know what? The dress was black and blue, and I wore it, and it was magical, and I felt like I should always feel.
Gold and white. I mean, I don't even know how else to argue
It's black
with
and
that.
blue. It's black and blue.
I have the glasses, Chad.
Okay, and you have a big forehead.
Well, I guess that's enough. Let's hear from our next audience member.
So if tomatoes are technically a fruit, does that make ketchup a smoothie?
Chad, let's hear it.
Just like I said earlier in this long and storied debate with me winning most of the time, I will say that yes, it is a smoothie. Just like how applesauce is a mashed potato. It has all the qualities of a smoothie. It's got the sugar, it's got the fruit, it's all blended, and it's yummy to drink with a straw.
Penelope.
I'll have you know, I mean, I would agree with my opponent on this. My two favorite smoothies are mayonnaise and ketchup. And yes, it is a smoothie.
Have you ever mixed them and made a mayo chip?
I have. It's actually really good. Yeah. We should make some after this.
We definitely should. And we can watch Drag Race too.
Oh, yeah. And Jurassic Park.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a smoothie. We both say so.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
I think we do.
All right, yeah, for sure. Let's get our next person, next question.
So, is a thumb a finger?
Penelope.
Obviously not. I mean, it's on the side of your hand. Your fingers are up here. It's so tiny, and it's like a woodchuck, right? Like a woodchuck isn't actually gonna chuck a whole tree. So thumb is useless. You only need 4 fingers.
The thumb is not useless. The thumb has many uses. This baby can go a lot of miles on just a little gas.
Good.
And I would say this is not only just a finger, this is the best finger. You can use it for so many things. I mean, look at cats. Does a cat have a thumb? No. And it can't drink a beer. I have a thumb. I can drink 2 beers.
What about the qualification of is a thumb a finger?
I just said it's a finger because I can drink beer with it.
Sure. Penelope?
I mean, that's like saying our toes fingers. I mean, just look. It doesn't even look like the rest of my fingers. It's obviously not a finger.
That's because her fingers look weird. This just looks like a tiny little finger. And that's why it qualifies as a finger. And I love using this one to go, good job, guys. And that's what you should do when you vote for me.
I mean, small things, they don't matter. We saw this before. Small things really, they don't get the job done. And I don't use my thumb on a regular basis, right? I broke my thumb in the 4th grade. Like, I still was able to get by. I would amputate it if I could.
Chad, would you ever amputate your thumbs?
If there was a tiger between me and those 2 little kids that I love raising, I would chop off a finger. But it wouldn't be my favorite finger. It would not be the thumb. I'd give up the pinky. The pinky's not used for much.
I think it's time for our final lightning round question, and thus our final question of the night.
Do fish get thirsty?
All right, let's open with Chad.
I think fish do get thirsty. And that is why every time you catch one, if you look in that little fish's mouth, you'll notice it is the exact same diameter as a Budweiser bottle. So all I'm saying is you're already fishing, having some brews with your buds, and you catch that fish, reel it up, he's thirsty, he goes, glug, glug, I'm thirsty, pour a little beer in his mouth.
Fish absolutely do not get thirsty. I mean, they're swimming in the water. Why would they get thirsty? I mean, I want you to explain that to me.
Okay, but you live in the air, but you can sometimes lose your breath. So a fish swimming in the water could get thirsty, could get dehydrated.
I mean, I guess that's a good point. Maybe you changed my mind. Maybe fish sometimes need to get a little extra gulp of water, like I do right now, actually.
I even heard that you shouldn't drink water after you've had fish because sometimes you take a little sip of water and the fish go glug, glug, glug up in your tummy, and then you have a fish in your stomach, and what do you do with that?
Chad, when you fish, are you in the habit of catching and releasing?
Yeah, I catch and release with a beer in hand.
Right.
I just don't see why the beer matters. I mean, fish aren't drinking beer. Fish aren't alcoholics like you.
It's got everything they need. It's got
The
electrolytes, it's got carbs, it's got wheat, it's got barley, it's got everything a fish needs to survive, and it's what they crave.
This is just absolutely absurd. I mean, fish obviously swim in water. They don't swim in beer. So why would they?
Have you ever spoken to a fish and had it say, I don't like beer?
Yeah, I have, Chad.
Okay, we got Fishmeister over here. Is this allowed?
Fishmeister.
Yeah, she is.
Nothing's born alcoholic. A fish could develop a taste for it, I'm sure.
Just like my father did.
Right. Thank you both. That sure was an electric lightning round. Well, wonderful people of the audience, are you ready to hear what the fact checkers thought of Chad and Penelope's answers? I throw it to you guys. Let's hear for your assessment.
We have a lot to say about how the night's gone so far. I'm not gonna lie.
It has been a wild night so far, that's for sure. Carrie?
Where's the bathroom?
It's down the hall, and
I have to make wee whiz.
You don't have to tell me that. Anyway, Jerry, as you were saying.
Yes, thank you. As I was saying, I think we heard a lot of varying opinions from our two contestants tonight. And even more surprisingly to me, sometimes they agreed. So I think we've seen a very divided audience tonight, and I think that's only going to continue to our final conclusion that's coming up.
Larry, anything from you?
No, I just want more beer. I'm thirsty now. So.
Right. So let's talk about some personal emotions. How did the debate make you guys feel personally?
On a personal level, I'm feeling a little lonely right now because Carrie just left to go to the bathroom, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know him at the beginning of the night, but we kind of bonded a lot during the commercial breaks, and I told him all of my deepest, darkest secrets, and I miss him.
What did you tell him?
You don't want to know.
All right.
Well, as illuminating as that one is, I think it's time to cut to commercial, but we will be right back with more Fact Check Please, where you all get to see who will be crowned Fact Fiend of the Universe.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are mere moments away from crowning the ultimate Fact Fiend of the universe. We've tallied the audience votes and considered the arguments presented and the fact checkers' assessments, and we have determined that. Can we get a drum roll, please, from the audience? Beautiful. The winner is Penelope Waddlebottom. Whoa! Whoa! There should be a belt around here somewhere. There should be a belt around here somewhere.
Where's my
look,
prize?
Where the belt.
Look at what I found next to the urinal I pooped in.
That's mine.
Oh no! I want that. I want the belt. No, I want it. It's mine.
No, why? I found it next to the urinal I pooped in.
Thank you all so much for joining us on Fact Check Please. Have a good night.